I'm gonna give you we're gonna go over several different aspects of different markets, kind of comparing and contrasting them, with the idea that hopefully you can have some insight as to where this market might go. Obviously, nobody knows exactly where it's gonna go, but we can kind of look at the trends and then look at where there's a possibility of movement. Markets don't always say, first of all, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. One of the things you'll notice though is markets go up and down. I mean, and that's just a simple fact, obviously. And everyone who's looking at any kind of chart knows this, you know. No market stays up forever. No market stays down forever. Obviously some assets go to zero. So I'm not saying that nothing ever goes to zero. But these markets that we're in, especially the ones that have been around a long time, that have shown that they're probably going to be around for a long time. You know, like S&P 500, the gold, silver, those kind of assets, commodities or whatever. They're just our markets. They go up and down all the time, as you can see. I'm looking at the S&P on this chart, and as you can see, this is the 6 month, right? We're seeing gradual increase. You know, higher lows, higher highs every time. And then you look at it on, let's say, the 5 year, right? Same thing. I mean, there's a little bit of a dip here in these years, but then kind of a little bit of a downtrend, but then it starts back on the uptrend. And that's on the 5 year. And then all time, let's look at the all time. It basically looks like almost a parabola. Like it's not exactly like a parabola because there have been times where it went up and crashed, but then kind of the way it's shaping, especially from 1993 on, it's like a parabolic kind of gains. Now we're basically at all-time high right now. As you can see, like this is the 10 year. Look, we're pretty much at the all-time high, more or less. Maybe not exactly. Maybe we dipped a little bit. I'm not sure if this is the exact all-time high, but basically, as you can see, we're creating higher lows and higher highs every time, and it's going up and up and up for this 10-year time frame. So basically, S&P 500 is at all-time high. Now let's go to gold. Similar, you'll see they're not identical, obviously, but you're gonna see similar patterns. You look at gold on, like, let's say the 1 month, right? Again, you see kind of its trajectory is up for the most part, minus this little dip here. For the most part, it's creating higher lows and higher highs, and it's on an uptrend right now, as you can see. And you look at it on, let's say, the 5 year. Now you can kind of see more of that parabolic kind of move up, and then you go to the 10 year, it's even more so, a little bit more so, and then all time. And you can see, I mean, this is where it gets ridiculous, because you can see right here at around 2014, it starts this parabolic increase, like all the way up. Now, moves that are parabolic in nature, I know this is on the macro, but like sometimes when markets are going parabolic, they're not always going to just keep going straight up. I'm not saying gold long term can't go straight up, can't go up. Like maybe it will continue on the macro to go up. However, there could be dips, and when there are dips, some of that money, like gold is a huge asset, multi-trillion-dollar asset. So some of that money can rotate it into other markets. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with gold. If you look at it on the 1 year, it's just basically been going up, 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 and so it will be interesting to see if at some point, because if you look on, like, let's see, the 5 year. Well, 5 years not a good example. There's times where it's going more flat. There aren't actually too many instances where it's just drastically crashing. However, there are times where it's going more flat. There are little instances where it crashes a little bit here, like this looks like 2012 to 2013. It looks like it had a little bit of a crash, from about 1700 down to 1100. So there are times when gold crashes, and you might think that, well, that's not a huge crash because the most part it's going up. However, gold right now is a $30 trillion asset. So if it crashes even a little bit, some of that money rotates into, other assets like, let's say, crypto, hypothetically. Obviously, all of it's not going to go into crypto, but if some of it goes into crypto, that could still give crypto a boost. You go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's for the most part creating higher highs and higher lows and higher highs for the last year. It did have a little bit of a downtrend right here. Let's see, what is this? This is the 5-year on 2022. I think that was the end of the bull market. Um, Silver, same thing. So silver is very similar to gold. You see this parabolic. You look at the 10-year on silver and you see this parabolic increase. Now you wonder, obviously a lot of people are investing in silver and gold, and that's why they're going up. But you got to wonder, how long that's going to hold, if there's going to be any kind of pullback or what. Now let's look at, I'm having trouble looking at all these charts. Okay, so we go to the total 3. These are all the coins outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum. This is their trajectory. Now you look at it, we're looking at it on the 5-year right now. And you can see right here there was a downtrend probably at the end of the bull market, and it kind of crashed and created lower lows and lower highs as you go down this trajectory. So it was in a downtrend, then it kind of flattens out for like a year or so. Then it starts creating higher lows and higher highs. And we're still in this trajectory on the 5-year for the total 3. So therefore, as you can see, we created higher lows here and here. This is also a higher low. So you have to wonder if we're going to shoot up from here. Hopefully, as crypto holders, this goes up, obviously. We create a higher high on the total 3, and some of our altcoins hopefully will be moving. A lot of altcoins haven't even, a number of them haven't even hit their all-time highs. And I'm not talking about just microcaps. I'm talking about like prominent coins. Like, for example, HBAR hasn't hit its all-time high, and it's a pretty well-known project. But anyway, the reason why I'm showing you all of this is because I wanted to show you basically the trends of what's been happening. And as you can see, gold is at an all-time high. S&P is at all-time high. Silver is at an all-time high. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, what is this one? Oh, and Russell 2000. Okay, this is the other one. This is the microcaps for the stock market. Okay, so you look at it, it's kind of had a little bit of a downtrend on the 1-day and the 5-day. 5-day, it's not too bad. It's 0.29%. But if you look at it on the 10-year, and you can see higher low, higher low, higher low, higher high, higher high, higher high. And if you look at it on the all-time, you can see we're at an all-time high on the Russell 2000. This is microcap stocks. However, altcoins and the total 3 have not been performing quite nearly as well. Like, as you look at the total 3, we're way down from our all-time high. Therefore, you have to wonder, is the big question, and the question I wanted to raise for this video is crypto just lagging behind all these other markets? Because all these other markets, whether it's silver, gold, S&P, and the Russell 2000, they're all at all-time highs. However, crypto, especially altcoins, are not at an all-time high. Bitcoin's been doing pretty well for the most part, and it's still in an uptrend, and from a macro point of view. And even the total 3 looks like it's in an uptrend from a macro point of view, because right now this is on the 5-year. Let's look at it on the 10-year. Yeah, even on the 10-year, it's looking like it's creating higher lows, higher highs. However, we're in a major downtrend. I mean, look at this. We were at 1.08 trillion in August of 2025, and right now we're at 844 billion. We're way down from what we were even last year. So the question is, will altcoins start performing, and will any of this stuff rotate into crypto? if there's a lot of hype around crypto, if crypto starts pumping, there's definitely a possibility that some people might put their gains from other asset classes into crypto. However, crypto is not right now. It doesn't have much hype around it. People are not even paying as much attention as they are to obviously silver, gold, even the Russell 2000, and the S&P, because those are performing at their highest ever. So, will there be a rotation? And I have to turn comments off for these videos mainly because I'm getting bots spamming me. But it's an interesting question to ponder. And I'm not saying I have the answers, but let's see what happens. All right, thank you. Bye.